Thanks, Mark. Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Layher. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about Linux, Netlink, and Go in 7 minutes or less, lightning talk version. So I work as an engineer at DigitalOcean. You can find me on GitHub and Twitter at mdlayher, and the content of this talk and my other ones is available in my talks repository on GitHub. So today, we're going to talk about Netlink. But what is Netlink anyway? It is a flexible Linux kernel IPC, or inter-process communication interface, primarily designed as a replacement for the old-school ioctl system call, where the basic idea is you get a socket file descriptor, a magic number, and some raw bytes. You pass them to the kernel. It works. It's not the friendliest API. Netlink is a lot better. So typically, you would use Netlink to configure the Linux kernel modules, various parts of the kernel. And this is done using Netlink families. And the family interacts with different parts of the kernel. Some of the example families include Route Netlink, or RT Netlink. This is used for configuring network interfaces, addresses, routes, etc. IP Route 2 on Linux uses this. GE Netlink, or generic Netlink, is a generic and extensible Netlink family, so you have to do a little less work to actually create a new family in the kernel. There's also NF Netlink, or NetFilter Netlink, which can be used to configure aspects of the kernel's NetFilter subsystem. But there's a full list available at man7 Netlink as well. So if we had a Netlink family tree of sorts, it might look like this. You've got Netlink at the top. You've got some of its families in the middle, such as Route Netlink, Generic Netlink, and NetFilter Netlink. And since Generic Netlink is more extensible and more families can be created, you have things like DevLink, NL802.11, TaskStats, WireGuard, and many more. So the way you do Netlink programming is with the BSD sockets API, system calls such as socket, bind, send message, and receive message. Folks, if you've never seen Beej's Guide to Network Programming, this is an awesome resource. It's mostly meant for C code, but a lot of the same lessons apply to Go. So Netlink messages have a fixed length header and some arbitrary byte payload, but that payload can sometimes contain another header for a different family or length type value attributes. This is a little weird. Most things are TLV. Netlink does length type value for some reason. So Netlink and Go, that's why we're here. Let's talk about the basics. I created this package. It does a lot of the hard work for you. So my Netlink package is a Go package that provides low-level access to Linux Netlink sockets. But this is primarily meant to be used as a foundation for other Netlink family packages. It's going to handle a lot of the details of Netlink message passing and attribute passing for you, such as setting the appropriate sequence numbers, padding out to 4-byte boundaries with your data, and etc. And finally, there's no CGO required. Compilation is a breeze. So as an example, let's say we want to speak to generic Netlink using package Netlink. We call Netlink dial and get a Netlink con. We can defer closing it until the end of our program. And we're going to send a request to Netlink with a couple of flags. Request, so that the kernel knows we're trying to do something, and acknowledge, so in this case it will echo our request back to us. We fill in the header as appropriate, and we call execute. And execute is just a shorthand for sending a message, receiving a message, and then waiting for, or doing a little bit of validation on the sequence numbers and a couple of other things. Finally, we can print the messages to the screen. But package Netlink really is a foundation. I don't recommend actually using this in your own applications. Instead, you should use a higher level family package as your starting point. You can find quite a few of those on the Godoc page if you look at the importer section. But let's talk about a couple of those high level packages while we're here. So some of these include RT Netlink, which is used to configure IP addresses and such by Jero and Simonetti. GE Netlink, which is by myself for configuring various generic Netlink families, and NF Netlink, specifically NF tables, written by Michael Stoppelberg at Google. But there are also more out there as well. So if we take a look back at our Netlink family tree, as we remember, we actually have quite a few Go packages already that implement these various families. When I last checked, there were 18 open source importers on godoc.org, which is pretty cool, and too many to fit on one slide. So some of the use cases of Netlink, these are some packages I've done to interact with generic Netlink. So the first is DevLink. This is used to manipulate Ethernet and InfiniBand chips. So what you can do is go to eBay, buy some super cheap 40 gigabit InfiniBand gear, plug it into your computer, switch it to NetDev mode, and there you go. You have like $30 40 gig Ethernet at your house. Very cool. There's Wi-Fi. This uses NL802.11 under the hood. And if you're running the Prometheus node exporter, the Wi-Fi collector actually uses this to fetch Wi-Fi interface information from the kernel. There is TaskStats, which provides high precision per process, CPU, memory, and disk stats. The Linux get delays utility uses the same interface. And then my most recent project is WireGuard Control. And this is used to manipulate WireGuard VPN tunnels in the kernel using the generic Netlink interface. So in summary, Netlink is a super cool, powerful, and flexible interface to the Linux kernel. If you like doing system call stuff, please come talk to me. And Go is a really great language for solving these kinds of problems, and you don't even need CGO to do that. Finally, come join me, help us build more Netlink family packages, configure the kernel, higher level packages, and let's build an ecosystem. Some resources include my Netlink package. I've actually done a blog series on Netlink as well, Linux, Netlink, and Go. If you Google that, you should see that. And then libnl, the C library, was a great reference to use for a lot of Netlink resources. So that's it. Thank you very much.